Good Monday morning, my peeps. It's Adrienne Talks. And I went to an awesome coffee with Katie, who is one of our loyal listeners out there and has been on the podcast before. And we were chit chatting, and I was talking to her about some of the things I learned this year. And she was like, "How have you not done a podcast on that?" So here we are. And I decided I would take her advice. Um, so I know a few weeks ago, I posted a video by Amber Rourke, and she was talking about how direct sales is not going anywhere, that it is amazing, and we have everything people want. And so I loved her message, right? People are looking for flexibility. They're looking for extra income. They're looking for fun. And anyone in direct sales knows we have all of that, right? It's the best. It's the best. That's why you're in it. That's why I'm in it. And we want to be able to share that, right? So I decided to reach out to some of my long term customers' kids, right? Because they're in their 20s now. And yep, I've been doing it that wrong long, even though I'm only 21. Somehow, I don't know how my customers' kids are 20 in their 20s. But I was curious, what they thought of the industry and what were maybe some of the things that, they don't like and some of the things they, like. Um, so one main thing when I was talking to them, I was talking about in-home parties. And a lot of the younger generations, they're living at home with their parents or they're renting a place with lots of other people because I mean, you guys know for us, anybody, insurance, taxes, interest rates, housing prices, they've all gone up. So it's harder for people to be able to afford their own place. So a lot of them were like, I don't think me or my friends would have in-home parties because of this, because they're living with their parents or they have a lot of roommates or whatever. And, parties wasn't really necessarily a loved word either by them when I was chatting with them. So, I don't know if you've seen this, but a lot of people are loving like experiences, right? They want to share like pictures on social media. They're not really saying like, oh, party here, party there. It's more of like an experience, like escape room, concerts. I mean, even you don't even go to the gym anymore, right? People are going to CrossFit and cycle bars, and they're doing all these different things that aren't just like I'm going to the gym. So verbiage is changing, right? We always did experiences, but we would call them different things, right? And so I really thought this was interesting, when we were talking a little bit about the verbiage and the difference. So, I sort of asked them, what if we moved these parties to experiences at like a bar or winery or somewhere outside the home? Like there's like a little flower shop or a little boutique, things like that. And all of them were like, oh, that would be so fun. I would totally do that. So again, it's not about what we're offering, it's about how we're approaching it. So I thought this was really interesting, just kind of having these conversations and seeing what people thought. Well, also, back in May, I heard from Heather Chastain, and she realized the same thing Amber was saying, right? That we have what people want, we're just presenting it wrong. And Heather did a bunch of research, and I will, share her a little bit. I think I've seen a podcast or two with her on it. So I'll share it so you can listen to that too. And, hear all about what she did. But she did a bunch of research on the younger generations and what their thoughts were about direct sales, and maybe why they're not joining direct sales. Because it does have everything they're looking for. I mean, when they said it, they want flexibility, they want extra income, all of those things. So, what I love, she gave the perfect example. She said, we have a cupcake that everybody wants, but we're packaging it all wrong. And so I thought that was really interesting. I was like, okay. So, what are the younger generations? What's wrong with our present, like our packaging, right? And she said that they really don't want to join anything. They don't, the team, the mentor, all of those words, upline, all those different things, they're just not words that they want to have, right? They don't like it. They kind of put up, no, I don't want that. They even said they want to have a mentor, but they don't want to be one. So all this like join our team, start a business, lead your own team, they don't really love any of that verbiage. And she was kind of explaining that like Gen X, if you're in my generation, the Gen X generation, they we like sort of had a villain that was we wanted to stay away from a 9 to 5 job. That was sort of so there's a lot of entrepreneurs, people looking for different ways, flex, different things like that. Um, so, you know, obviously direct sales is what we were looking for. And so people would present it as like, you can make full-time or part-time work, right? You can have a business. Well, younger generations, their big villain is they don't want to get money from all one place. They want multiple streams of income. They want to know that they can, if something happens with one place, a business closes, whatever, that they still have other income. And I thought it was interesting too, because she shared that like a lot of people are on TikTok, like filming them getting fired, right? And we know our generation would never, like, that's just something we would be like, oh gosh, we don't want anybody to know that. And they're like actually putting film out of people getting fired like it's no big deal because they have multiple streams of income. So if that job doesn't work out, they'll just go, rely on those other streams of income while they find something else. So I thought that was super interesting. Just the difference in the mindset of where they're coming from and we were coming from. So we presented it to our generation, like, oh, you can have full-time income and trips and all these perks. Well, some of this can scare the younger generation away because I didn't think about this either. And she said this and it was like huge light bulb, right? That, they were born in an environment of scamming, right? Scam phone calls, scam emails, scams everywhere. So they have like a super high scam alert. So when you're sitting there going, oh, you can start right now, have a full-time business, earn a car, earn a trip, earn tons of money a month, their scam radar goes up. They're like, no, no, thank you. And so when in her study, she realized most people just wanted to make an extra 250 to 500 bucks a month. That's what they were looking for in those generations. And you know what was funny? When I started talking to a lot of consultants that were my age, when we started in our 30s, we were looking for the same thing. Like most people were just looking for a few extra $100 to pay for some kids' extracurriculars, to go out to dinner once a month with a family, to pay an electric bill, a student loan, something like that. Like we kind of all started, like I know I started for the same thing. I just wanted a little extra money for their school because they were in a private school at the time. And I kind of just wanted something. I wanted to learn how to cook for me because I didn't know. But I just wanted something to get me out of the house a little bit too, because I was staying home with the kids during the day. So it really hit me when she was explaining this as I talked to more and more people, that have moved up in direct sales. Most people didn't start wanting an empire. They started just wanting a couple extra $100, just like these upcoming generations want. They just want a few extra $100. And so you guys, again, this is easy for direct sales to offer a couple extra $100 to relieve the financial burden or a little bit of debt or whatever. And so that's how we should be presenting it. So, just giving a little extra income each month, that's perfect, right? We can do that. We can offer that. So what I loved is, Heather also gave like, here are some things not to say, and here are some things to say. So, get rid of the party word and start making experiences or making fun verbiage that really doesn't say party necessarily. Let's quit just saying join and just say, let's get started, right? Let's get started. We don't need to join anything. We can just get started making extra income. And so again, it's not about starting your own business or growing a team or all this leadership, all these big things. Just get an extra stream of income. That's what we should be presenting. And the sponsor, recruit, upline, mentor, all of those, just tell them you're going to be their guide to make some extra money, right? Because that's really what we do, guys. We're the people that show them how to make a little extra money. And then if they decide they want to turn it into a big business or grow into leadership or all those things, right? We're there to guide them to do that. And that's exactly what we can do. So I know it's always hard to have these little shifts in verbiage. Trust me, since May, when I first heard Heather talk, and I've heard her speak again since then, I've been trying to shift this verbiage, but we have these things ingrained, right? Sponsoring was ingrained in my head. And, do you want to join my team? I mean, those have been words I've been using for years and years. So it's just a shift in verbiage that could really, really help attract other people to your business. Our world's constantly changing, and each generation does have experiences that the previous generation did not. So I know some of us are like, oh, come on, that can't be that big of a deal, like our verbiage, but it really is. And we all know it too, right? There are other times where you hear somebody say something and you're like, but then when you really think about it, how many times have you said we're saying the same thing just differently? That's exactly what's going on. So we just have to change our words a little bit because people still want what we have. Direct sales is amazing, and it's so incredible to be, you're to be able to be in control of your extra income, right? And that's what we get to do with direct sales. So you guys, I hope this helps. I hope this can help shift your thoughts a little bit, shift your verbiage a little bit, so that these younger generations, these moms that are just, have little kids that want this extra income, that want to stay home, that want the flexibility, that we're still offering it, and they're hearing it instead of not hearing it because of the words we're using. They're hearing it and they see that it's still relevant and it's still amazing. So you guys, until next week, when Adrienne talks, realize the power is within you.